Hi, my name's Autumn Livas. I'm 22 years old. I was born in Longview, Texas on March 1st, 2002 to two parents that didn't really know each other. I was like a one-time thing, baby. And from that started a whole like 15-year relationship. Growing up, it was kind of tough. You know, my dad had just gotten out of prison before he had me, and then my mom, she was 18 years old when she got pregnant with me. They made it work, you know. They were kind of toxic with each other though. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of drug use. They were both on meth. I had a sister, she's a year younger than me, and we just grew up. You know, my dad was cooking dope in the house. My mom was always at work, and while my dad stayed home, and when they were together, it was a lot of fighting and a lot of arguing, a lot of throwing things, a lot of breaking things. But, you know, it worked eventually in the end. We got taken away by CPS twice, and they said the third time that we were gonna go to foster care, so they got it together. My dad got a job and started working with his uncle's roofing, and my mom had a steady job as a manager at the bingo hall in Longview, actually. They kind of like, you know, they just weren't ever really good, so they ended up getting divorced when I was 14 years old, and my mom left. So I didn't see her for a couple years. I didn't see her for a little bit of time. During that time, my dad moved us to Gilmer, and that's where I went to high school. So that's kind of where like the bad stuff starts to happen. I mean, I was really promiscuous. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I was trying to fill, I think, that void of not having my mother, not having my parents together. I started having boyfriends, I started seeing more people, and eventually, whenever I was 16, I met somebody while I was working at my first job. This person ended up being a drug dealer. You know, he had just gotten out of jail, so I should have known, but, you know, I was young, wild, you know. But he sold drugs, and for a little while, he was just smoking marijuana, and I started smoking marijuana with him because I'd tried it before, but I really didn't get into it like I did with him. I found out later on that his drug of choice was heroin. So eventually, he ended up getting back on heroin, and this led me down that path. So I went from marijuana to heroin in a span of like a year. We were together for 5 years. So the first year I was just smoking marijuana, and then eventually it led to me trying heroin. And then once I tried it, I didn't stop. I had moments of clean time. I had periods of clean time, but it wasn't longer. I think the longest I went without doing heroin was 10 months. But during that time, I'd gotten into every other drug I can get my hands onto, trying to, you know, chase that high that heroin gave me. Me and this guy that I was with, he started selling heroin again, and our door ended up getting kicked in, and that's the first time that I went to jail. I only spent about 3 months in jail, and I got a PR bond, and I was able to get out, and I got 1 year probation for that. I did successfully complete the probation, and then 5 days after I completed the probation is when I got arrested for stealing from Walmart, theft, over $700. The guy that I was previously with, he ended up going to prison and getting a 10 and a 15, so a 10 and a 15 stack, so he's doing 35 now. That was for the manufacturing delivery charge, and he's still currently in prison. I haven't talked to him in about a year and a half. I was just going crazy, you know. That's when I got arrested for going to, you know, stealing from Walmart. I barely remember it. I just remember getting arrested and waking up and going home the next day. So during this time, a lot of things just started happening, and I saw a lot of loss. A lot of people lose their lives to what I was doing. You know, heroin. It's not something you can just maintain and keep doing without the risk of losing your life. I got Narcan for the first time during this period of my life. Like, it took 2 things of Narcan to wake me up, and I still didn't remember anything for the next day. And then, I just started praying. And all the way through my addiction, I never stopped having faith in God. I never stopped believing in God. I never lost that. So I just prayed, I was like, God, please get me out of this. Get me and who I was with sober, help him get his kids back, help me, get my life together. And 2 weeks after that, that's when we got arrested again. And this time I got arrested for 2 manufacturing deliveries. So, we went to jail, and it was like kind of like the same process. But that's whenever my stepmom found Wiseman, and I was able to go to Wiseman. I went the day after I got out of jail, and I've been here for 10 months now. Tomorrow is my 10 months, and it saved my life. It gave me a chance that I never thought I would have. It helped me in the legal aspect of things, definitely. I've gained these new skills that I never thought I could have, because I'm usually a sensitive person. I've gained leadership qualities. I've been able to become the program director. And these are positions I never thought I would have, after getting arrested like that and having the charges that I've had. And even if they didn't go through, it's still, you think that that's gonna stay with you for the rest of your life, and you're not gonna be able to come out of that or come back from that. So to be able to do this and help these other women, and just life-giving, it's really helped me get my life back. I have the ability to lead other people. I was really insecure growing up. I didn't have any confidence in myself in that. And now, since being here, I've learned that I have the ability to lead other people. And especially, when you pray and you ask God for the words to lead other people in the right direction, He gives you those words. I think that's the strongest thing that I've had, even throughout my addiction, was my faith. When I knew that things were tough, that's what I would do. I'd focus on the fact that I know that God's not going to let me fail. He's not going to he'll let me fail, but He'll bring me back up again, and He'll put me in a position to get where I can do better things in my life, and I can glorify Him. It's been really enlightening to see how much my faith could grow from what it was, because I thought I was a pretty faithful person, you know what I mean? And now He's just showed me so much more joy and so much more, what's the words? So much more joy and so much more happiness. It's been really hard, really just forgiving myself. I've always been a very forgiving person, even to those that, I got in trouble with, to those that, introduced the drugs to me, or I was in a position with, that we had to do some things that weren't very good. But as for myself, it's been really, really hard. I still sometimes I still have those nights where I'm thinking about what, I've done, but I just remember that God put me here for a reason, and it's okay now. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what I need to do. It's really been exciting to see that I can be happy with myself and not feel that guilt and that shame. Trust the process. Always trust the process. It's going to be hard in the beginning, but as long as you stay on the right track and you pick yourself back up and rely on God, and pray a lot. I'm not too sure right now. I'm in college right now, so addiction counseling, and I'm taking a course in business as well. So I'm like all over the place, but I've had so many new avenues open to me since I've been here, and it's just crazy because I know there's a whole lot there. I can do anything now. I can do anything now that I put my mind to. But I think I'm planning on pursuing my degree and focusing on college and things surrounding that. I probably will stay here. I'm just not sure at the moment. You know, God's given me dreams before, and in one of my dreams, He's actually given me the verse Jeremiah 3:15. The Lord will give you shepherds after His own heart to guide you with knowledge and understanding, and that's exactly what He's done. He's put really good leaders in my life. He's put really good people in my life to guide me and along His way. You know, at a certain point, after I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever I gotta do, and I know that God wants me here. You know, He put the application in front of me 3 times. The first time I asked my stepmom to help me find a rehab because I was on the verge of relapsing on heroin again, and she told me about this place. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, you know, whatever. The second time was while I was in jail. At first, it was just being here because I didn't want to go to prison, you know. I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to do any of that. But then it turned into something like, oh, like there's opportunities for me here. There's growth for me to be here and be done, you know. And I had this problem with wearing a mask and masking all my emotions and masking everything. And that was probably one of the biggest things, was just taking that off and being vulnerable and being able to connect with everybody and really get down to the root of my issues and not just play it off and be like, oh, well, you know, oh, I'm saved, I'm gonna be clean now, you know, this is all I need. It was really getting down to the rawest form of myself and the raw emotions and being vulnerable to the point where it's real and it feels real, and I know that I'm changing and I know that I'm morphing into something better. The 3 or 4 month mark, I was really, because Jalea said something to me one day and she was like, you just wear this mask on him. You just always wear this mask and you need to, like, you know, just let it out and work through it, you know. And that's what it took, you know. And, you know, she's a very strong-minded person. So it took somebody saying that to me and being real with me to be able to open up and really get down to the root of the issue. But I have learned time management. I have learned a lot of coping skills, a lot of emotion, like managing my emotions, managing my thoughts, and, you know, that sinking thinking. And I know that these are going to help me for the rest of my life. They've helped me tremendously already. I went from being very depressed all the time and anxious and worried and like replaying the past in my mind all the time to now I know how to work through those thoughts and move on from those thoughts so that it doesn't affect me emotionally. And I'm just like, oh, well, you know, yes, I did go through that, but this is where I'm at now. You know, this is what I'm doing now. Just getting to know everybody and really making some real connections with people that, because I wasn't used to that. I was used to having friends that I got high with. I wasn't used to having people that genuinely cared about me and wanted to be around me. I just remind myself that I've made it this far, you know. Everybody goes through things, things happen, and there have been people before me and there will be people after me that go through the same thing and they've made it out. My dad's a great example of that. He was on meth for 10 years and went to prison for 6 years and has admitted to not raising us right, has admitted to, you know, doing things wrong in the past and being abusive and, you know, having a problem with drugs, having a problem with drinking. He's admitted to all of that, and now he's my biggest support system. He's somebody that pushes for me to do better and has made a way for me, you know, brought me out of like the place we were living back in the day and put us in a house by himself. He was working nights and providing for us, buying all of our school clothes, doing all the things a mother should do as well. And now he's got his own house. He's got 2 cars. You know, he's doing great. And he's just an example of what, whenever you put that shame and guilt and you work through that and you understand that you did things wrong and it's in the past now, that's when you can move on from it and really heal from it. Good. Okay, good.